Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates. We're coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. Guys, look what we have here. Okay, this is the current picture of the USGS map in San Diego County. We now have over 100 aftershocks from the earlier 6.0 earthquake that was momentarily downgraded to 5.2. This is what happened. Okay? I'm showing you exactly what happened. It's unreal. Unreal. People across San Diego County reported feeling an earthquake early this morning at approximately 10:02 this morning. The U.S. Geological Survey initially reported as a 6.0 magnitude earthquake. Then moments later, they downgraded almost a full magnitude to 5.2 earthquake south of Julian at approximately 10:08 a.m. this morning, Monday morning. Several aftershocks were reported in the area immediately following the earthquake. As of 10:55 a.m. this morning, San Diego Fire Department told CBS Channel 8 TV in San Diego that it had not received any reports of damage or injuries from the earthquake. According to the United States Geological Survey, the earthquake was felt as far away as Orange County and West Los Angeles. According to the USGS, the earthquake was felt as far away as Orange and West LA. As of 10:55 this morning, there have been no reports of any damage or injuries from the quake, but I'm going to show you footage from Julian, California, showing there was some minor damage. The National Weather Service issued a statement saying there was no immediate threat of a tsunami. Because why? The earthquake did not happen anywhere near the ocean, and there was no disturbance on the ocean floor, which would cause a tsunami. In this case, there's no tsunami because there was no ocean floor damage. Following the earthquake, the Metrolink train connecting Los Angeles with San Diego County canceled service. From the Orange County line, train 608 between San Clemente and Oceanside, allowing crews to conduct preliminary precautionary track inspections. In a post on X, the San Diego Metropolitan Transit System said all trolleys, light rail trains will operate at restricted speeds at a precautionary status. Riders can expect some delays, but the Metropolitan Transit District, MTS, said all trolley service light rail trains are still operating as normal. The governor's office, Newsom's office, issued a statement briefly saying he had been briefed on the incident. The California Governor's Office of Emergency Services said the agency is working with local agencies to assess any possible damage. Mayor Gloria from San Diego posted on X, urging residents to report any damage through the Get Done app, GETITDONE app. San Diego experienced a strong earthquake centered near Julian, approximately 2 miles south of Julian. There is no known visible or major damage to the city so far. And according to the governor's office, he's been in communications with the federal and state officials, and he's also been in communications with Mayor Gloria in San Diego. Please report any damage in your communities through Get Done app, GETITDONE app. In a post on X, again, the governor has issued a statement, and he's been briefed on the incident. Now, I'm going to play information for you right now, giving you the information that I have from San Diego County. Please, guys, please pay close attention. This is information from San Diego County today. That's not it. This is it here. This is the 6.0 earthquake from this morning. Again, it happened at approximately 10:08 this morning. 10:08 this morning. Let me show you the information that we have coming out of San Diego County right now.
We do have Dr. Pat Abbott right now joining us by the phone. Dr. Abbott, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
All right, you know what, you are the expert here, and it looks like a 5.2, a pretty measurable earthquake. Can you explain basically what's going on?
Oh, certainly. I happen to have been standing on the third floor of my accountant's office here in Mission Valley, so we felt in very good shape. So I'm told it's just near Julian, which would be Elsinore Fault, which is part of the same fault system we felt with that heat system back in 2010. And magnitudes in the 5s would kind of correlate with what I have felt, but I haven't had an access yet to get to read the actual seismic data. But magnitude 5 is on the Elsinore. Sounds very reasonable, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's where the final analysis comes out.
Dr. Abbott, from what I am hearing, from what our producers are telling us, they're not expecting a tsunami with this particular earthquake. Can you tell us how all of that works, and basically, what triggers that tsunami warning, what doesn't?
Well, first off, for a tsunami, you have to disturb the ocean water to put the energy into the water. So when we're talking about an earthquake that's inland, a long distance from the sea, there's no way in the world that this particular event is going to disturb the ocean to any kind of effect that's going to bother a human being. So if it turns out to be in the magnitude 5s, I kind of say, hallelujah, in the sense that 5s don't usually cause significant damage unless it's right underneath a city or something or other. So wait to hear some more of those kinds of details.
And I understand that this was felt all the way up in LA, also through Temecula. In Southern California, our buildings are meant to hopefully withstand earthquakes. Can you talk about some of the structural integrity, some of the reinforcements that they have done in California, as we are an area that obviously experiences this type of activity?
Well, indeed, and we get better at preparing for earthquakes all the time. And of course, the fundamental principle is this: it's not the earthquakes that kill or that do the damage directly to us. It is the buildings, our structures, that fall on us. And if we look at buildings from the simplest sense, we have horizontal floors attached to vertical walls, and a horizontal floor shakes differently than a vertical wall does, and then they tend to come apart, crack, fail, and that's where all the problems are. So every time we've had a really large earthquake, since 1933, 1971, 1994, going through those things, the building codes are always strengthened afterwards to try to not have the same kind of problem occur again. So in that sense, we're better prepared all the time. But there are still older buildings, there are still buildings in disrepair, or things of that sort where we get these horrible shocks with. And a lot of those we don't really know until after the event happens. Then we see and try to learn from it and hopefully correct it so that mistake doesn't occur again.
Ever wondered what your home looks like from space? Enter your address and get a 360-degree satellite view of your home.
Okay, that was from LA. That report came out of Los Angeles. Let me show you San Diego County now. This is from News 8, CBS affiliate in San Diego.
Hello to you. Thank you so much for joining us here. I'm Netta Iranpour.
And I'm Chris Grow, in today for Eric Connor. We do want to start with breaking news. An earthquake was just felt across San Diego County. A preliminary report shows it was a 5.2 quake near Julian. Let's check in with CBS 8's Regina Rita, who is live in Otay Mesa. And Regina, we understand a lot of people felt this, but what did you feel there where you're located?
Yeah, well, Chris and Netta, I can tell you we were here for another story originally when we started to feel what obviously felt like the ground moving. Now, right here, construction is happening as we speak, right next to that border crossing. So we thought it was construction, and at that point, we started feeling, okay, wait, this is actually an earthquake. I want to show you some moving images. This is my photog actually capturing when that earthquake happened. That actual shake is obviously from the earthquake, and it started becoming a chain reaction. People actually coming up to me saying, was that an earthquake? Did you feel that? Was that actually an earthquake? And many people just coming up to ask, and we are actually asking some of the businesses out here if they had received any damage. No reports of any damage in this area. No reports of any injuries. It seems like business as usual here at the Otay border crossing. People coming in and out of Tijuana, coming into San Diego, but definitely felt it pretty strong here in this area. I want to toss to some sound of just some of the people and the reaction that was going on just afterwards.
Of the shake, this is what's going on, and immediately I got an alert, earthquake, and immediately my wife called me. Oh my God, everything started falling down.
Spark in my car in here, and I just feel like something moved, and I say like, what is that? Maybe I don't turn off my car, but it's like the airway.
I feel the ground kind of tremble. I thought it was a truck passing by, but then it shook a little bit. As the lady was saying, it was just, a couple of seconds, but it was pretty strong.
And so you can just hear from just some of the reaction here coming from the Otay border crossing, everybody having the same reaction of, definitely felt something strong. It felt like the ground was moving. We definitely felt it pretty strong here in this area. And as you mentioned, Chris and Netta, that preliminary report showing, that it was a 5.1 earthquake. But again, this is what we're receiving here. Still no report, 5.2 earthquake. We're going to keep you guys updated here of just what's happening, but no reports of any injuries or any damages here in this area. For now, I'll send it back to you.
There's a lot of people talking, glad that there are no injuries there. Regina, Thank you for bringing that to us. Of course, for so many people, we all felt the ground rocking. And it is terrifying to feel the earth shake underneath you. In the newsroom, we felt it. We heard about boom. So it had a lot of people kind of on edge.
A lot of people wondering what exactly was going on before finally realizing, obviously, that the earth was indeed moving.
Thank you, Regina, for that. And we do have a team of reporters as well all around San Diego County right now. So here we have Kelly Hessedal. Kelly is in El Cajon right now. Shaking also felt in East County, Kelly?
Absolutely. We were out here covering the long lines at the DMV because of the deadline for the real ID, and I felt the ground shake. I saw it moving. It was unreal. So take a look. You can see the line continues to grow out here right now. The earthquake actually sent the computer system out here down. So a few minutes ago, a woman came out and told everyone, hey, the system is down. Be patient. I talked to some of the people out here for their reaction to this earthquake, and here's what they said.
I was just like rumbling under my feet, and then I just look over and everybody's running out the building, and I kind of just look at my mom and look at him, and we're just all looking around, and then all of a sudden it stopped. We're like, okay.
Yeah, it was a really quick one.
Yeah, we just called my brothers, made sure they were okay. My older brother called, and then we're just on the phone with my family right now.
I was looking for a tablet that they were pointing me towards, and the whole building started shaking, and I was like, well, where's the tablet? Oh, wait. It's kind of weird.
What was going through your mind?
Should I get into a corner? What's above me? You know what I mean? Like little kids were going to the ground and covering, which was cool to see.
And we have some video as people started streaming out of the DMV here in El Cajon just as the rumbling stopped. You could hear people's cell phones going off. You could kind of feel the energy out here really change. So there was this buzz in the air. People were all talking about the earthquake. And I have to tell you guys, it was packed inside. They opened up early today because so many people are trying to get a real ID before the May 7th deadline. So there have been long lines since we got here this morning. Going to the DMV can always be kind of stressful. And now this was just kind of an added element to all of it. So back out here live, the good news, as you heard Regina say as well, we're not hearing any reports of any damage. No one was injured out here, but it definitely caught all of us off guard. Everybody I talked to today told me this was the largest earthquake they felt in a very long time. I'll send it back to you.
This is the quickest way to clear.
Oh yeah, we don't feel the ground shaking that often in San Diego. Thankfully, this is a rare occurrence. Kelly, thank you so much for that update from El Cajon, of course, with the epicenter being, near Julian. I would imagine East County may have felt it more.
Some of those, yeah.
El Cajon, guys, is about 18 miles west of Julian, where this earthquake hit.
Yeah.
But we are hearing reports from, obviously, the border, La Jolla, Oceanside, Escondido, where people have been messaging us saying, what in the world was that?
A ton of different people reaching in saying that what they felt. Also, again, an important reminder, if you have any videos or photos of any damage of any kind, you can use our Near Me section of our app to send those in. So a lot of people feeling it in their own ways in their own locations.
Yeah, I have a friend that was shopping in Target, for example. She said a lot of things fell off the store shelves there. So we're getting a lot of different reports like that. Obviously, for students in the classroom, the first thought is to call the school, make sure your kids are okay, which is understandable. And they go through those drills to prepare for things like this, of course. We do want to mention here that we have learned that Metrolink has canceled service between San Clemente and Oceanside in response to this earthquake. This is to allow crews to do precautionary track inspections. They want to make sure that everything is safe and determine if any damage occurred to the tracks.
Yeah, there's no timeline for when that service is expected to resume. Now, we want to continue our coverage here. Let's check in with CBS 8's Abby Black, who is live in downtown. And Abby, we've been asking there, what are you seeing? What are you feeling there downtown? And what are some of the folks that you're speaking with telling you?
Well, Chris and Nettie, as we continue to talk about this, many of us are saying, where were you when it happened? We were at the KFMB studios when I was in an edit bay, and it felt like there was like this window section, and then you started to feel that shake. I looked straight at my colleague and I was like, whoa. So we rushed out of there. And also yesterday, I live out in Santee. I was meal prepping for the week, and I felt another earthquake, and that one also felt like the suction, the air suction from a window. That's what that felt like yesterday, but not nearly as big of a shake as we felt today. So imagine if you're a high-rise construction worker. That's what you're going to be looking at just a moment here with Jay Hands Up. They felt that when it hit just after 10 o'clock this morning.
Checking for aftershocks. We all know they happen. So if you don't go back in the building, that's your choice, and nothing's going to be held against you. I don't blame you. Okay? So if you guys want to wait here, that's probably the most prudent thing to do. Okay? So just stand by.
We were here when the superintendent was allowing construction crews to go back onto site. After that earthquake had hit, they evacuated all of their crews from this high rise. I believe it's about 9 floors high. They were able to then do a safety swoop. The superintendent told me that he went from the top floor all the way down, checked for any loose bearings, any damage at all. They deemed that it was safe, but during that time, that's when we arrived on scene and we saw construction crews sitting out here across the parking lot, waiting for them to be able to go back. But again, they said that they do these drills all the time. They are prepared for this, and the crew said that they felt safe to go back. But it was also nice to hear from the superintendent that if those that did not feel safe, were not required to go back up. But again, these crews are now back to work. They deemed that it would be safe. But again, as we're here talking about where were you when this happened, imagine being a construction crew on a high rise. Glad that there were no injuries and no damage.
Abby, thank you so much for that. We do want to recap what we know right now about this earthquake. So just to let you know, it was about an hour ago, 10:08 our time, a 5.2 magnitude earthquake. You see the epicenter, that red dot right there on the map. So about 2.5 miles south of Julian, just west of the 79, as you see in those mountains of San Diego. So likely a lot of people felt it there within the community of Julian. There's the Main Street downtown area, a lot of schools around there. And of course, throughout San Diego, many people reported feeling it. Do you want to mention the aftershocks? Just 2 minutes later, there was a 2.9 magnitude aftershock there in Julian. Also, just about a mile or so south of Julian. And since then, I'm looking at the USGS map. There looks to be about 8 aftershocks in our area, specifically near Julian, also a 3.5 in Borrego Springs. So these aftershocks ranging from 2.5 to 3.5 moments after that initial larger one, the 5.2, which is likely the larger quake, and then that creates these aftershocks, which we do see.
Okay, what they're talking about is the aftershocks immediately after the original shaker.
Oftentimes. So the mountains of San Diego certainly feeling that shaking going on, and much of our county, our community, we're looking at Chopper 8 right now, looks like going up towards the mountain communities there. And, you know, it is rural, but still there's, people that go to school there. There are many businesses. And, you know, when you feel that shaking going on, it does rattle the nerves. And so many people want to find out what it is, what happened. Was that a construction issue or a military training, or what could that be?
So much could happen here within San Diego. We even had the re-entry of our atmosphere just not too long ago. Felt up in Oceanside. National Weather Service also putting out that tsunami obviously was not expected. Immediately after that, we had some people in the coastal areas wondering, of course. So yeah, a lot going on in our area alone without even an earthquake happening.
Yeah, and so many friends and family likely checking on you as they are with us, as soon as the word gets out. Everyone wants to know if you're okay. So we also want to know that as well. Again, if you have any reports of damage, injury, any images that you can safely share with us, go ahead and go to the CBS 8 app. You'll see a Near Me section at the bottom. You can send those to us immediately, and it'll come right to our newsroom.
Okay, that's CBS News 8 report there. I've got another report out of Julian right here.
Yeah, I'm here in downtown Julian, so about 2.
Now look at Julian, guys. When I lived in San Diego County until April 2000, this time, April 2000, I left. Look at it now. Look at these beautiful new buildings, new facades on the buildings. This was not there when I lived in San Diego County and visited Julian. What you're seeing is new.
2 miles from the epicenter of that earthquake. Now, it really shook the building where I was at Fox 5 in Kearny Mesa just after 10 a.m. So you can only imagine what they felt here in Julian, much, much closer to the epicenter. So I spoke to one of the managers here at Mountain Spirits and Liquor. His name's Dylan Carnero. He was here when that earthquake hit. And like you were just mentioning how it's dangerous to have things that could fall on you during those situations, liquor store is a really bad place to have been. He told us that initially he thought a car hit the side of this building and they lost quite a few bottles, even some of them from the top shelf. We certainly knew that some of them had fallen down when we came in here because the smell of that alcohol is pretty overpowering. But yeah, like I said, they lost a lot of merchandise. So he was telling us about it earlier today. What were the thoughts running through your mind when this earthquake hit this morning?
It was just a lot of like exhilarating emotions and everything like that. It's just it was a good 2.5 minutes of just like insanity, honestly. It's the biggest one I think Julian has felt in my time, like 15 years. I don't know what happened before then, but there was definitely one that shook people's nerves.
Yes, certainly. And I was just telling them, you initially said that you thought maybe a car hit the building. That was how much it was shaking.
I mean, of course, I'm not going to jump straight to like a natural set disaster or something like that. And I'm also very aware of how people drive sometimes. So I just thought like someone hit a support beam maybe, but it obviously happened more than 30 seconds, what a crash would be. So, I mean, obviously just took control of the earthquake.
Were you standing right here when that earthquake hit?
No, I was in the back room, but I did get like all the sounds of just the consecutive bottles falling and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, that must have been a scary moment. How many bottles in all would you say fell off these shelves? It looks like maybe one of the worst places an earthquake could strike.
Yeah, definitely. I believe it was 4 off the top shelf, and then we had a few like smaller and cheaper half pints in the back room. Not really all that relevant stuff to say, but definitely like all the more expensive ones 4 up here, and then 1 on the side, so 5 total in here.
Oh wow! And can you show us some of that damage from the back room?
Yeah, the board is struck up and everything, but I do have I still have the remains or whatever of the model. I mean, some's already there. This is liquor. I haven't got to sweep them off in that yet, so I mean, like I said, it was just like smaller half pints like this size. And it was, I don't know. Just a bunch of stuff like that. And we just.
And how much do you think in total this damage is going to cost the store?
If I had to estimate, I'm probably going into like $550, $600, maybe even more, honestly.
Oh, wow. And you said this is probably the most intense earthquake you felt. How long have you lived in Julian?
Pushing 15 years, so yeah.
So it's safe to say the store's never experienced anything like this before.
No, yeah. So I've been working here for a little over 5, but I mean, there's been smaller ones, you know, that are just easily forgettable. It just happens within 20 seconds, you're done. And yeah, this is just definitely one that I'm pretty sure all of town is not going to forget.
Yeah, certainly. And have you heard from any other store owners here on the street? Have they had similar experiences or any more damage?
I think something at the Warm Hearts, one of the little gift shop-based stores around here. But personally, I haven't had time and not really interested at the moment of other stores. I mean, other retailers have been telling me, like, yeah, from what I've heard, you got the worst of the worst out of all of town. So
certainly, but everyone here is okay. There were no injuries, right?
Yeah, I was the only one in the store. The door was locked even, so it was definitely just me. And yeah.
All right. Well, we're glad you're okay. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, that was the report from Julian. Okay, Julian is a little bit different town than when I visited there before I left town, but in Julian there was some damage, some minor damage. Now I want to report on the highways and roadways in East San Diego County. La Cresta Road in Granite Hills. La Cresta Road in Granite Hills had at least one lane blocked at Valley Rim Road from rocks that fell onto the roadway. In North County, Valley Center Road at Woods Valley Road was closed due to a landslide. Boulders fell onto the roadway at the entrance of Palomar Mountain State Park, and heavy equipment will be needed to remove those. Let me give you some information now. I think this is important. Let me show you a picture of that damage of the some of the landslides that have happened as a result of that earthquake. Bear with me for just a minute here. There are rocks and boulders on the side of roadways similar to this right here. Okay, this is on Route 76 in North San Diego County. Route 76 in North San Diego County, guys. This is typically what we've seen of damage so far. Okay? Does anybody have any questions about what has happened in San Diego County as a result of that 5.2 earthquake? Any questions about it? Let me show you some more information here. Right here. This comes from the United States Geological Survey study, seismologist study page. Okay, they're showing this as exactly as they have it downgraded to a 5.2 earthquake, 5 kilometers, 2 miles south of Julian, California. I believe from the map it shows us southwest of Julian, not directly south. Let me show you this though. I want you to pay attention here. I think this is important. First, they showed this as a 5.2 earthquake. Then they showed it as a 5.5 earthquake. Then they showed a 5.13. Then a 5.63. A 5.63. Let me show you some more information now. Okay, hold on, I didn't put it up here, I'm sorry. Okay, remember the earthquake came out as a 6.0. They downgraded to a 5.2. I showed you here on this diagram here what actually happened here. Okay? Right here. Excuse me for just a second. Okay, this is what I originally wanted to show you. First, the downgrade to 5.2. Then they also had this listed as a 5.54. 5.54, guys. Okay, then the 5.13. Isn't this interesting? 5.13 was never 5.13. Also a 5.63. 5.63 here. Let's go over this other image I just got through showing you here. Look at this. We see one of the seismographs reporting it as a 6.08. Another one reporting it as a 5.81. Another a 5.52. Another 5.65, another 6.21. Now this repeats itself over and over again, over 125 different seismic stations reporting it. What I believe has happened is that the USGS wanted to downgrade it to the lowest possible magnitude. They didn't want us to see this. Now I can show you 125 different seismograph reporting stations, but this is just a small sample of it. 6.08, 5.81, 5.52, 5.65, and this is 6.21. So this may very well have been a large earthquake. This may well have been a 6.0, 6.5 earthquake, not a 5.2 as they would have us believe. Now you guys can go over to the USGS map. Click on the earthquake itself. When you click on the earthquake on the left, it will bring up part of the seismologist study page. Scroll down till you get to origins. Scroll down to get to origins. That's when you see this other page that I just showed you. This page right here. Then you can start to see what we have here. First, a 5.21, then a 5.54. Notice the 5.2 when they have no station details, yet they're saying this is a 5.2 earthquake. Then this one below that is a 5.54 with station details. 277 seismographs reporting this as earthquake. Then a 5.13 with 277 stations reporting this quake. Then a 5.63 with 150 stations reporting. Unreal. Was this originally a 6.0 earthquake? Probably. Maybe even a larger 6.2. But you can see the details of this station. When you go over to the USGS map and you click on this earthquake, you come up to this page here and then scroll down to origins and you get this page right here. Okay? Then scroll down to 5.63. Click on that. Okay? Then you'll come up with what I just showed you. All the seismograph reporting stations. You can tell right there what happened. This probably was not a 5.1 or even a 5.2 earthquake as they have panned it out to be. I found more and more of this happening throughout the years as I reported these earthquakes. It happens over and over and over again. I want to be firm. I do not believe anything USGS says. Again, I do not believe anything USGS says. I have to go in and study it myself. And so far, I believe this was a large earthquake. I believe this was a large earthquake. Now with that said, I'm going to show you the USGS map here, right here. In showing you this map, it shows over 100 earthquakes so far. Incredible. Incredible, guys. Now, let me back out. You see 3 brand new earthquakes here. Because of the size of this earthquake, we're going to see aftershocks coming in probably for weeks, if not months. If this had been a 6.0 earthquake, which it might have been, we may see aftershocks coming in for months, if not years. But right now, I'm giving them a benefit of the doubt of it being at least a 5.2, if not larger. We are going to see aftershocks for quite some time. One of these aftershocks right here, this is a 1.0, 5 kilometers southeast of Julian. This one just north and west of there. This is a 1.6 tremor, 2 miles, 4 kilometers south of Julian. We go north here. This is a 1.5. This is northwest of Julian. Northwest of Julian, guys. 1.5 tremor. These are the latest aftershocks from this at least 5.2 earthquake today in North San Diego County, northeast San Diego County. Okay? As you can see, we have more earthquakes over here to the east here in northeast Borrego Springs. This is a 3.5 small earthquake here in Borrego Springs. Borrego Springs is actually in San Diego County, northeast San Diego County. It's called the Anza Borrego Desert State Park. This is a 3.5 earthquake. This is all I should say. This is an aftershock. This was not here earlier today. This happened at approximately 1:12 p.m. this afternoon, Pacific time. Okay? We're going to see more and more aftershocks in the days and weeks to come. That's going to happen. Now, they're not even showing hardly anything going on in Los Angeles. They have one earthquake right here. This is Lake Elsinore. They say this is a quarry blast 5 kilometers north of Lake Elsinore. Let's zoom in here and take a look at it. Guess what, guys? It's not a quarry blast. It's not a quarry blast at all. This, I believe, is part of Lake Elsinore. This is a 1.1 tremor here in Lake Elsinore. Right off to the right side or the northwest side of Interstate 15 here in Lake Elsinore. Okay? So again, USGS is not even giving us the truth. This is off to the northeast side of Interstate 15 here in Lake Elsinore. This is in a housing development, a residential area. Okay? Lake Elsinore, guys. Lake Elsinore. They're not hardly showing anything at all here in Los Angeles. To the north here is Home Gardens, California. They're saying this is a quarry blast. Let's take a look at this as well. This is near a quarry for the first time in a long time. This is near a quarry there near Home Gardens, California. This may very well be a quarry blast related to this quarry here. Okay? But like I said, this is the only relative information that we have here in Los Angeles County, because they're not telling us hardly anything. We go out here to the west, Colton, California. This is a 1.2 tremor. This is on the San Jacinto Fault here. North of here, also on the San Jacinto, this is Muscogee, California. This is a 0.8 microquake. Out here to the southeast on the San Andreas Fault. This is a 1.8 here near Banning, California. 1.8 here on the San Andreas Fault near Banning, California here. They're not showing any earthquakes at all in Los Angeles County. Now, tomorrow, I will make sure we show you earthquakes here in LA because they're not showing them. They're not showing anything. There are earthquakes here. Out here north of Los Angeles in Sherman Oaks, this is a 1.8 tremor here. A new earthquake just north of there over here in Sylmar, California. This is a 1.4 tremor here. Sylmar has had large earthquakes here. They had a 6.5 earthquake in the 1990s here in Sylmar, California. Okay? There is a fault here I can see that you might also see here, but I'm not sure what fault it is. I'm not sure what fault that's on. Let's go north here. This is in Fillmore, California. This is a 2.3 earthquake. This is just south of the Garlock. This is the Garlock fault up here. This is a 1.4 in Lebec, California. Now, let me give you a brief history of Lebec. Last year at this time, in fact, it was just after this time of year last year, we had a 5.0 earthquake over in Hollywood, California. That earthquake and other earthquakes like it echoed up here. We had a 5.0 earthquake in Lebec, California, right here, just about a year ago. The Garlock fault runs east here. Going over here is Arbor, California. Arbor, California has a 1.4. Going straight up the Garlock, we come up here. Johannesburg, California. For quite a while now, we have had swarms of earthquakes here. As you can see, we're having a swarm today. This is one of the largest. It's a 1.2 tremor here. This is a 1.8. This is a 3.0 earthquake here. 3.0 small earthquake here. This red earthquake is brand new. This happened since we've been on the air. This is a 1.0 tremor here near Johannesburg, California. We go straight north up here to the Garlock. We come up here. Ridgecrest, California. This happens to be 11 kilometers east-northeast of Ridgecrest. Let's zoom in here. Folks, this is Ridgecrest, California right here. That's Ridgecrest. So this indeed is northeast of Ridgecrest. Right here. An earthquake north of here. This is Cyril's Valley. I was expecting this actually to be Little Lake, California, but they're calling it Cyril's Valley. A 2.0 minor earthquake here. Further north, Little Lake, California here is a 1.1 tremor. This is a 0.7 microquake here. And folks, this is a 1.1 in Kozel volcanic field. Kozel volcanic field here. Okay? This is a huge volcanic field. Huge, guys. You can already see craters and vents all over this area. Craters and vents all over this area. This is also a geothermal area, guys. A geothermal field. Men have drilled into the upper magma chambers of the Kozel volcano, and they've obtained steam from that volcano to power turbines to generate electricity here from Kozel volcanic field for Southern California Edison. Now, I don't know whether we can see any, or if we can see any turbine facilities here in this area, but there may be here. Anytime we have an earthquake here in Kozel volcanic field, it is either magma or it's connected to the drill points where men have drilled into the upper magma chambers of this volcano to obtain steam to generate electricity here in Kozel volcanic field. Okay? That's what's going on here. Now I'm going to back out completely here and go up to Northern California here. Right here. Just off the coast of Petrolia, California. This is in the southern part of the Cascadia megathrust earthquake region. This is a 2.0 earthquake here near Petrolia, California on the San Andreas Fault. Yes, folks, this is a San Andreas Fault here in Northern California. It starts up here right here with the triple junction. The San Andreas Fault starts here and goes all the way through California, all the way through Southern California, through the Imperial Valley and into northern Mexico, and then it follows through the Gulf of California down through just off the coast of southern Mexico. That's how far it goes. Over here on the Gorda Escarpment, just west of the triple junction, this is a 2.5 earthquake here, a 2.5 minor earthquake here. These two earthquakes, as well as this other right here to the west, also on the Gorda Escarpment here, is a 2.7 earthquake here. This is the Southern California, the Northern California part of the Cascadia subduction zone. The northern part of the Cascadia subduction zone. Let's move up here. We're not seeing any other earthquakes off the coast of Vancouver Island, Washington, or Oregon. Let's go over here to Washington really quickly. This is Trayton, Washington. This is a 2.0 earthquake here. Notice where it's at. The Puget Sound area. The Puget Sound area. Over here to the south. This is northwest of Mount Rainier. Notice they're not recording or reporting any earthquakes here at Mount Rainier, which is bull. Every day they have microquakes, they have tremors, the full-blown 3.0 earthquakes at Mount Rainier. Mount Rainier is showing signs that it's going to erupt. Right here, just northwest of there, is, they say, an explosion. This is the 1.4 tremor here, just northwest of Mount Rainier. Let's zoom in here. Look at this. It's out in the forested area. This is spontaneous combustus carnivorous, an exploding tree. I'm kidding by that. USGS is calling this an explosion. They're wrong. Unless they're taking trees down by exploding TNT or like explosives, this is not an explosion. This is a 1.6 tremor here near Capucin, Washington. Okay? Again, they don't know what they're talking about. Okay? Let's go down here west of Mount St. Helens. This is Castle Rock, Washington. 12 kilometers allegedly east-southeast of east-southeast of Castle Rock, Washington. This is a 0.6 microquake here. A 0.6 microquake out here in the boondocks here near Castle Rock, Washington. Okay? That's what's going on here. They're not reporting any other earthquakes, anything else here. Why not? There are plenty of earthquakes here. I want to emphasize that. There are plenty of earthquakes in this region. Let's go further south here. This is west of Three Sisters. West of Three Sisters. South, I don't believe it's west of Three Sisters. I believe this is 1.5 south of Three Sisters. I believe Three Sisters is right here. So this would be south of Three Sisters volcano here. This is a 1.5 tremor. Now folks, I've done my research. Three Sisters and also Newberry volcano are showing signs of something going on. Just more than just tremors. Yes, there are a lot of tremors, but there's also some minor earthquakes involved as well. Sisters and Newberry volcano. I will report more on that as late as Thursday this week, but stuff is going on there. Okay? Now I want to take you back to Saturday. I want to go back to Saturday. Right up here. This is off the west coast of Kamchatka Peninsula Saturday. We had a 6.9 earthquake here. A very strong 6.9, 7.0 earthquake here Saturday. This is over here in the Sea of Okhotsk. 6.9, 7.0 earthquake here Saturday. Not to be outdone. Not to be outdone at all. right here. We had another 6.9 earthquake here in Afghanistan. 6.9 earthquake Saturday in Afghanistan. Right here they're showing a 5.3 here near Tajikistan. A moderate 4.3 earthquake here. This happens to be 17.5 kilometers deep. But again, Saturday, right here in Afghanistan, we had another 6.9 earthquake. Not to be outdone. There's more to talk about. Over here south of Fiji, last night, we had another 6.9 earthquake here. 6.9 earthquake here. Now, it is not common nor is it uncommon to have multiple 6.9 earthquakes within a 24-hour period. It happens. But it's not that common. 3 6.9 earthquakes almost in triangular fashion. One is far north as the Sea of Okhotsk here off the Kamchatka Peninsula. Then over here to Afghanistan, another 6.9. And then way down here in the south of Fiji, another 6.9 earthquake. Incredible. It's incredible. Now I hear that Gloria was talking about mark on my face. Yes, I had some surgery here a week ago Friday. It's been 10 days. I can now wash my entire face. I was told by the surgeon not to wash this area until 10 days. Now it's been 10 days today. I had a growth here taken off my face right here. Right just on the left side of my nose here. Yes, guys, it was not that painful, but I had it taken off anyway. They took it off. They said it was benign. So hopefully that will be the end of it. Okay? Yes, we had it fixed, Rebecca. Fixed. Now, Rebecca's also been sick, guys. I want to tell you that. She has been sick. I'm glad she's here tonight with us. I hope she's feeling better. Alan Newton is asking, nuclear testing can contribute to earthquake activity. Yes, it can. But so far there is no evidence of nuclear testing in San Diego County, west of the Kamchatka Peninsula, or even in Afghanistan. I don't believe they're testing nuclear weapons there either. But yes, it can contribute to nuclear activity can contribute to earthquakes. It's happened before. Let's go down here to the center of New Zealand, out here in the Cook Strait here. This is the Cook Strait, the body of water between the North Island of New Zealand and the South Island of New Zealand. This, folks, is a 4.2 earthquake. 4.2 earthquake. This happened early this morning at approximately 6:05 this morning Eastern Time. Okay? That's here. Now, they're not reporting any other earthquakes here in New Zealand, but they're lying to us. USGS is lying to us. We have about 7 or 8 earthquakes here in and around the North Island of New Zealand. We have 2 or 3 earthquakes down here on the South Island of New Zealand. Most of those earthquakes are right here. But again, USGS decides that they're not going to show them to us or not. Too bad. USGS, when they omit earthquakes, are lying to us. An omission is a lie. Okay? Further west here, this is the 4.6 earthquake here near Kimbe, Papua New Guinea. Folks, we've had numerous earthquakes here. We've had numerous 5.0s. I believe we've now had 5 5.0 earthquakes right here in this area. This is a moderate 4.6 earthquake. This happened 60 kilometers south of Kimbe, Papua New Guinea. Okay? Down here in the southern part of Papua New Guinea here. Okay? 4.6 earthquake, moderate earthquake here. Moderate earthquake. Moderate earthquakes do moderate damage. Moderate damage. Okay, let's go further west here. They're not reporting any earthquakes in Papua, Indonesia. Over here in the Banda Sea, this is a 4.6 earthquake here in the Kapalong Babar, Indonesia, in the Banda Sea. This is 133 kilometers deep. 133 kilometers deep. It's in the ocean, the Banda Sea. The ocean waters here absorb the shockwaves of this quake. Nobody even felt this quake. Okay? Let's go further north here in Indonesia. Right here. Again, this is in the ocean here. This is a large 5.3 earthquake near Ternate, Indonesia. 141 kilometers west-southwest of Ternate, Indonesia. A large 5.3 earthquake. Similar to what we had in San Diego County today. Okay? Going over here to north of Java. This is a 4.6 earthquake here. This is 128 kilometers northwest of Batang, Indonesia. Northwest of Batang, Java, Indonesia. Again, the ocean waters absorb the shockwaves of these quakes. There are earthquakes here. There are more earthquakes here, but USGS is not going to talk to us about them. Why not? Who knows? Who knows? There are earthquakes over here in Myanmar. There are quite a few earthquakes here in Myanmar, but USGS again is not showing those. What a joke. The preeminent seismic agency of the United States not showing earthquakes. What a joke. What a joke. Anyway, look at this earthquake here in Tajikistan. It's the only earthquake in the Middle East and in Europe. What a crap. What a bunch of crap. There are earthquakes here. There are earthquakes here, but they're not talking about it. Let me take a few moments and talk about earthquakes here. Northern Turkey here. Southern Turkey, there are earthquakes here. Earthquakes over here in eastern Turkey as well, right here. Why do we have earthquakes right here? Because, folks, 2 years ago, February 3rd, 2023, we had a 9.0, 10.0 earthquake hit this region. There were over 5,000 people killed and over 5,000 people injured. That earthquake left a 14-mile-long fissure opened up in the earth. A 14-mile-long fissure. That fissure could fit an 8-story building inside the fissure. That's how deep it was. 14 miles long. 4.89 earthquake in Java, Indonesia a few minutes ago. Unreal. Unreal. And I'll bet you they're not going to show that earthquake. Now, why are we still having earthquakes here? They are aftershocks. They are aftershocks of that 9.0, 10.0 earthquake that hit here 2 years ago. Why they don't show them, who knows? Who knows? Now, there are other earthquakes in northern southern Turkey here and in western Turkey as well, right there. But before I leave this area of eastern Turkey, this earthquake fault is called the Anatolian Fault. It runs over here into western, eastern Mediterranean here. It goes south of Cyprus here. That is the island of Cyprus. That fault runs over here just south of Crete. There are earthquakes here. There are earthquakes over here in the Dokanese Islands. These islands here are called the Dokanese Islands. They belong to Greece. We have plenty of earthquakes here. Most of these earthquakes right here in this area here are a result of magma beneath the surface. Magma hammering away at bedrock here, trying to make a path to erupt. There is active magma here in the bedrock here, hammering away at the bedrock, trying to find a way to the surface to erupt. That's why we're having earthquakes here. We go over here to mainland Greece. There are earthquakes here in mainland Greece, and I believe I counted 18 earthquakes here earlier. 18 earthquakes here in mainland Greece. Let's move over here to Italy. The Anatolian Fault goes up here and runs into Italy. However, let's make a stop down here in southwestern Italy right here. We have earthquakes here. Why? Because we have another volcano that's trying to erupt here. Trying to erupt. This is a huge urban area. I've talked about it before. Huge urban area. Thousands upon thousands of people live in this area. Some of this area has been evacuated. This area is still getting hammered away by earthquakes because the magma here is trying to make a way to erupt here. We do not...
Default class light magnitude 4.3, 6 minutes ago.
4.3 near DePaul, Italy, 6 minutes ago. Not surprising. That's because of this volcano here. That's because of this volcano. It's trying to erupt. Okay? This whole area is partially evacuated. Not completely, but partially evacuated because of this volcano here. We're going to keep close tabs on this volcano going forward, but not to be outdone. Over here in north central Italy here, we have plenty of, I'm just going to tell you, we have a good sized swarm of earthquakes. 21 earthquakes here in north central Italy today. Most of these earthquakes are minor tremors. 1.1, 1.2, 1.5, 1.7, 1.8 tremors. However, there are a couple minor 2.1, 2.3 earthquakes here in this region. We've seen when this happens before. When we have swarms of earthquakes, it ends up at some point in time coming to a 5.0 large earthquake. We fully expect that to happen again in this area. 5.0 earthquake here in northern Italy sooner or later here. Going up here in the northern Italy, we have more earthquakes here. Both south, north central Italy here, and over here to the north here. Okay? Up here in the Alps, we typically have 1.2, 1.6, 1.7 tremors. Up here north of there, Switzerland, tremors. Going over here into France, tremors and minor earthquakes. Most of those minor earthquakes being 2.2, 2.3, and 2.5 earthquakes here in France. Let's go south and west. Over here to the border of Spain and France here, we typically have 2 earthquakes a day at the border of Spain and France, right in this area here in the hills. 1.2 and 2.2 earthquakes. 1.2 tremor and 2.2 earthquakes right here at the border region of France and Spain. Southern Spain here, typically 2 to 3 earthquakes here as well. These are minor earthquakes. Minor earthquakes here in southern Spain. Okay? Now, I want to go up here to Scandinavia. There are earthquakes here. Southern Norway and southern Sweden. Earthquakes here. These are typically 1.2, 1.3 tremors. I'm going to open up my other device here. I'm going to try to show you what has happened here. I think you ought to know. Let's start here in Norway. Vestfold, Norway. Vestfold, Telemark, Norway. Let me open up my webcam here so you can see this. Vestfold and Telemark, Norway. 1.1 tremor here. 1.1 tremor there. Over southwest from there, also in southern Norway. Tonstad, Agder, Norway. This is a 1.4 tremor here. Then we go over to the coastline, southern Norway. Florovestland, Norway. Florovestland, Norway, a 1.5 tremor there. Now I want to tell you this. This is the first time I've seen an earthquake on the coastline of western Norway. That's the first time. Most of the earthquakes are usually south here, where you see these other 2 earthquakes. Now, they have taken down 2 other earthquakes here in southern Sweden. Let me get my pointing device. Southern Sweden. right here. This is Göteborg, or you have what they call, now I can't even remember in English what it's called. In Swedish it's called Göteborg. Göteborg right here. We had an earthquake just out here north and east of Göteborg. Okay? We also had another earthquake up here near Stockholm. Up here near Stockholm. Incredible. Incredible. Okay? That's what happened here in Scandinavia. Again, when I lived there in the mid-70s, we didn't see any earthquakes at all. None at all. There are also earthquakes over here in Iceland. They're not reporting them here on the USGS map. But there are other earthquakes here, and these are due to magma tunneling its way through bedrock, trying to find a way to erupt again. Magma tunneling its way through bedrock here, trying to find a way to erupt. That's what's happening here. Right about, I want to say, right about this area here. Right there. That's where we're having minor and small earthquakes here. Just to get an idea of where we're at. Down here is the town of Greenvik that we reported on before. We're not having any earthquakes here in Greenvik at all. But we've had eruption over here northwest of Greenvik before. The eruption here ended up opening up two different fissures. The second fissure opened up closer to Greenvik and ended up bringing down 3 homes here in northwestern Greenvik. Now, with those fissures, the magma keeps hammering away and going north here. Keeps hammering away and going north. I fully expect another eruption sometime in the near future, and I'm talking probably within the next 2 or 3 weeks up here in this area right here. Near Skol, I think it's called Tres Skogsfeld. Okay? That's what I expect to happen here. Now, just to give you an idea of what's going on. We talk a lot about earthquakes, don't we? There's a reason for it. I want to show you what's going on, number 1. Number 2, I want to prepare you for what might be happening. So you will be prepared to handle the disaster or the emergency when it happens. Up here in Canada. Actually, I'm sorry, this is New Hampshire. I thought this was actually Canada here. This is New Hampshire. This is a 2.0 earthquake here. This happened at approximately 4:44 Eastern Time this afternoon. So I was unaware of it before I came on this program to show you this. Again, this is a 2.0 earthquake here, 5 kilometers south of Alton, New Hampshire. New Hampshire, guys. Notice where this earthquake hit. This is in the eastern foothills of the Continental Divide. You can see the Continental Divide here. I'm showing it to you here. See the mountains here? This is the eastern Continental Divide. The eastern Continental Divide runs all the way south here. All the way down south here along the east coast. The eastern Continental Divide here. That's why we have this earthquake today. It's associated with the Continental Divide. And it's also associated with the North Mid-Atlantic Fault. The North Mid-Atlantic Fault is expanding. The North Mid-Atlantic Fault is expanding. It's pushing Europe and Africa in an easterly direction. It's also pushing Greenland, Canada, and the United States in a southwesterly direction. That's happening. In the next few days, we'll also show you earthquakes here along the East Coast. Happen here every day. Every day. Now, guys, I want to talk about what we need to do to prepare for an earthquake. San Diego residents got a whole face full of it today. They got a whole face full of earthquakes today. Let's talk about what we need to do to prepare for an earthquake. It's simple. Simple. Now, what do we do during a major earthquake in San Diego County or anywhere else? What do we need to do? According to the Earthquake Center, according to the Southern California Earthquake Center, there's a 60% chance of a 6.7 or greater earthquake occurring in Southern California. Now, I'm going to tell you this, they don't know what they're talking about. There is a very good chance of having upwards of a 7.5 earthquake on the San Andreas Fault. On the San Andreas Fault in Southern California. A 7.5 earthquake. Yet, an American Cross survey conducted in 2004 shows only 1 in 4 households in the western United States is prepared to face an earthquake. 1 in 4 households in Southern California, western United States, is prepared to face an emergency earthquake. Let me give you some earthquake facts. About 35 earthquakes are reported every day. 35 earthquakes in San Diego County are reported every day. That's 12,000, 4,000 earthquakes per year. 45 states and U.S. territories are at high to moderate risk for earthquakes. 45 states and U.S. territories are at high to moderate risk for earthquakes. What do we need to do before an earthquake? First, you need to establish something very important. Identify safe spots at home. Identify safe spots at work and home. Sturdy tables and desks. Small rooms and hallways to get away from glass. When an earthquake happens, we've had numerous reports, especially in 2014, when in Los Angeles we had a 4.5 earthquake. And I believe it was a lot stronger than that. It was at least a 5.0, 5.5 earthquake in Los Angeles. 2014. Broken glass reported all over Los Angeles. All over Los Angeles. That's why you need to identify small rooms and hallways. Stay away from glass windows. Find sturdy tables and desks to duck under. You heard that report from a reporter and a lady talking to her that in the DMV you saw young children ducking to the floor and covering their heads. That is a proper thing to do during an earthquake. Duck, cover, and hold on. Find a sturdy table or a desk and duck under it, and then hold on to those legs for your dear life. Duck under the table, take cover, make sure your body's completely underneath the table or desk, hold on to the legs, duck, cover, and hold on, and stay there till the shaking stops. Okay? Establish an out-of-area contact who can coordinate family member locations and information in case you become separated. Establish an out-of-area contact, out-of-state contact preferably. There will be a telephone blackout when some earthquakes happen. That is why you need to establish an out-of-area contact, because you won't be able to reach anybody in your city or town, but you may be able to reach people out of state. So please do that. Establish an out-of-area contact who can coordinate your family members' locations and the information about them in case you become separated. Make sure everyone in your home knows phone numbers and addresses. Prepare a family disaster supply kit. We talk about this all the time. Prepare a family disaster supply kit and keep one in your home and one in your car. Keep one supply kit in your home and one supply kit in your car. Flashlight, batteries, radio, water, at least 3 days worth of water, 1 to 3 gallons per day per person of water. Have a radio. You can have ham radios, you can have two-way family radio service radios where you can buy a radio such as this. This has a little more punch than I'm talking about, but this is typical of what you can see as a family radio service radio. with frequencies in here you can talk on for free. 10 channels per radio for free. All you have to do is play with the radio, understand where the radio frequencies are, and be able to talk on those frequencies to your family members, making sure each family member is on the same channel. Now, if one channel is full up, there's a lot of talking going on, you can change to a different channel. But notify each other ahead of time what channel you're going to go to. What channel you're going to go to change frequencies to talk. Make sure you know that ahead of time. Okay? Radio. Second, an AM/FM weather radio. An AM/FM weather radio. In the event of an earthquake, local authorities can commandeer the radio frequency from the Weather Service, and they can relay emergency information on that radio frequency. So have an AM/FM weather radio just like this. Okay? It has a wind-up function on the back or the side, meaning you can wind it up and power it yourself through this crank here. My AM/FM weather radio also has a solar panel here to help keep it charged. That's another important factor. Okay? But if you don't have a weather frequency on your radio, make sure your AM/FM stations are news talk stations, meaning they have news, weather, and sports on the radio. Tune your radio to a news talk station that will give you emergency information for your local area. That's very important. AM or FM stations that give news, talk, and weather. That's important. If you have television reception and your electricity does not go out, if you have telephone reception or television reception, you tune your television to news talk station in your local area. They will give you emergency information to have it. Just like we saw with the television stations in San Diego and Los Angeles a little bit earlier at the beginning of our presentation tonight. It's important because this information will save your life. This information can save your life. You also need a 3-day supply of non-perishable food. You need a minimum of a 3-day supply of non-perishable food. We've talked about this before as well. Medicine. Make sure you have your medicine with you. Now, you might have heart medicine, you might have insulin for diabetes or some other kind of medication. Make sure you have your medicine with you. An extra set of keys to your house and car. An extra set of keys to your house and car. Extra clothes. Extra clothes, guys. Now, I'm also going to give you some more information here, and I hope you pay attention to it. Take a first aid class. Take a first aid class from your local Red Cross chapter. You might also get someone from the Heart Association that also teaches first aid. I used to teach CPR, and I also had a certification to teach first aid. Take a first aid class from your local Red Cross or your Heart chapter to keep your training current. Take a class on first aid from the American Heart Association or the Red Cross, and then keep your training current. Okay? Another thing, eliminate hazards in your home. Bolt your bookcases, your china cabinets, and even television and other tall furniture to the wall studs in your home. Bolt or nail your bookcases, china cabinets, and other tall furniture to the studs in the walls of your home. That way, those pieces of furniture and even your refrigerator won't come tumbling down on you in an earthquake. That can happen. Remove any unsecured items hanging over your bed. Remove any unsecured items hanging over your bed, including mirrors, ceiling fans. Don't have a ceiling fan immediately over your head because it could drop on your bed and hurt you. You move it. Don't hang a mirror over your bed. Install strong latches on cupboards and strap the water heaters to the stud walls as well. What to do during an earthquake? If you're indoors, again, use a drop, cover, and hold on technique. Drop to the ground under a table or a desk for protection. Then stay there. Cover your head and neck and your body with your arms to help protect you from flying debris. And then hold on to that table or desk. Hold on to the leg of the table or desk so it won't slide out away from you. And taking cover by windows or heavy furniture, don't do it. Don't take cover by windows but under heavy furniture. Don't take cover under anything that might tip over. Don't take cover in doorways. You notice that one person today talked about ducking into a doorway. It used to be that the emergency personnel used to tell us to duck under a doorway. Why? Because there's a 12-inch stud above that doorway. A 12-inch wide, 4-inch thick piece of wood above that doorway. That 12-inch wide, 4-inch thick piece of stud was attached to the studs of your home. But during an earthquake, that could come down on you as well. So do not stand in a doorway. Do not stand in a doorway. Okay? Don't take covers in doorways at all. If you're outside, stay away from buildings. Stay away from trees that might topple over. Stay away from street lights and power lines. Stay away from power poles, period. I'm going to give you a for instance. Years ago when I was a police officer, I was waiting outside on the street where a friend of mine lived so we could go to dinner. At that point in time, it's 4:30 in the afternoon. All of a sudden we were having an earthquake. It was a 5.6 earthquake in San Diego County. I was parked next to a sidewalk on the street. Power poles on either side of me were going like this, waving in the wind. That earthquake is a powerful earthquake. I thought, what if those power poles split and can hurt me and hurt my vehicle? I started my truck, and I at least at first thought that my truck was moving. It was not. I had turned it off. I quickly started my truck and took off down the road to get away from those power poles. You don't want to have a power pole or a tree fall onto you. There was a very unfortunate incident earlier last week where a tree that had been rained on for quite some time had lost its roots and fell onto a car, narrowly missing the occupant of the car. A lot of you people may have seen it. Be very careful. Don't park next to trees. Don't stand next to trees or power poles either. Stay away from the power poles, stay away from the trees, and stay away from street lights. Anything can possibly fall over on you, stay away from. Crouch down under a table or desk and cover your head and body and hold on. That is the proper thing to do during an earthquake. Okay? If you're in a vehicle, park away from these same objects that we just got to talking about. Be sure not to be under or under a bridge or near it. Do not get near a bridge because it could also fall. Stay in the vehicle with your seatbelt fastened until the earthquake is over. What do you do after an earthquake? Stay indoors. Stay indoors until authorities say the event is ended. Check your home for damages. Report any problems to the appropriate authorities. Look for and extinguish small fires and eliminate fire hazards. Turn off the gas. Turn off the gas. Again, I'm going to show you something. If you go outside your home and you see your gas main, okay? Right next to your gas main itself, there is a pole coming out of the ground. That gas line that pole is a gas line, flowing gas. Right next to it is a small item that looks like this. It's a valve. Get a wrench, an open end wrench or a adjustable wrench, and get it fitted so you can grab that valve and turn it like this. If the valve is just like this, folks, it is still flowing gas. If you turn the valve like this, it's not flowing gas anymore. Okay? That valve is going to look like this along that gas line. If the gas valve is like this, it's still flowing gas. Get a wrench and turn it like this. That will turn off the gas. If it's been leaking gas, do not turn it back on. Do not turn it back on and call somebody from your gas company to check your home for gas and gas leaks. Let a professional turn the gas back on and relight your furnace, your hot water heater, or your stove. Don't do it yourself. Okay? If you smell gas or think it's leaking, turn your gas off and have a professional and a professional only turn the gas back on. If your home is unsafe, get everyone outside. Monitor the radio news reports for updates about emergency information. Check yourself and others for injuries. Put on long pants, a long sleeve shirt, sturdy shoes and work gloves to protect yourself from further danger. If you're on a bed and you had your shoes off, make sure your shoes are right next to your bed. Make sure they may be able to have in a bag, put your shoes in a bag at the foot of your bed. That way there's no possible way that if a glass window shatters, the glass could be inside your shoe. Put your shoes, make sure your shoes are free of glass. Then carefully put on your shoes and then, and only then, step on the floor. Make sure you protect yourself. Catherine Sigerson said she can't handle bad lighting. My buddy Don Patoka is a model on this channel, gave her some information. Get extra LED lamps. Get extra LED lamps, Catherine, please. Catherine says she loves storms, but not the ones that make you crawl on the floor. I agree. I don't like those either. Protect yourself from further danger. Protect yourselves from further danger, guys. Only use your phone to report life-threatening emergencies. Other than that, stay off your phone. Use your phone only to report life-threatening emergencies. Otherwise, stay off your phone. Why? Let the authorities have use of the phones. Let the authorities have the bandwidth that the phones operate on. That way they can do the job and possibly even get to you during an emergency. You can also text message people. Text messaging gets through during an emergency even if the cell phone tower is down. If you're not able to make calls, text it. Those messages get through even to 911. Most 911 stations now have the capability to answer 911 calls on text messaging. Okay? Now, with this earthquake we had in San Diego County today, we showed you over 100 aftershocks so far. Expect aftershocks. They're going to happen. Aftershocks can be even up into the magnitude of an earthquake that happened. There was a 5.2 aftershock. Each time you feel one, use a drop, cover, and hold on technique. Use a drop, cover, and hold on technique. This will keep you safe. This will keep you safe. A moderately deep earthquake. This was a shell earthquake in San Diego. A moderately deep earthquake registered by the USGS as a 6.5 happened in the Fiji Islands at 20:03 hours UTC on April 13th. A 6.5 earthquake. It was out in the ocean. Nobody even felt that earthquake, but it happened. And like I said, there were multiple 6.5, 6.9 earthquakes in very triangular fashion. One in the the southwest part, the Sea of Okhotsk, west of Kamchatka Peninsula. Another one in Afghanistan, and this one here we're talking about in South Fiji. Okay? They can happen. They can happen. The Fiji earthquake was 617 kilometers deep. Deep earthquake. As a result, we're going to see another at least 5.0 to a, actually it won't be a 5.0, it'll be at least a 6.5 to a 7.0 earthquake sometime in the next 1 or 2 days. Probably in the next 1 or 2 days. And based on the information we have, the earthquake in Fiji did not cause a tsunami. Did not cause a tsunami. Any questions? Don Patoka is also saying here in the chat, mental skills are much more important than physical skills in many situations. It's not good enough to just be right. You also need to be effective. It's not good enough just to be right. You need to be effective. Okay? Be prepared. Again, one of the things that Don Patoka has used during our many chats about preparedness. Tenets to prepare by. Exercise logic over emotion. Exercise logic over emotion. Be centered. Be centered. Keep your wits about you when everybody else is losing theirs. Be calculated. Know what you're going to do. Have a good idea of what you're going to do because you practice this. Have a good idea what you're going to do because you practice this. Be calculated. Be collective. And be concerted. Know what you do and go after it. And then also be coordinated. Don't just go off half unknown. Be calculated. Know exactly what you're going to do and coordinate with other people. Okay? Each of us are unique in circumstance. Ponder what will work for you. Ponder what can work for you and write it down in your preparedness plan. Write it down in your preparedness plan. Hurricane Heather says, if you can think straight under pressure, you can delegate. You can delegate, you can coordinate. Trish Killian says, Ron, what is the thinking on removing infirm loved ones from the home during an earthquake? Only do that once earth stops shaking. Only remove them from the home once earth stops shaking. And then, if it's safe to do so. If there's nothing happen, nothing's fallen down, you might be able to stay there. But if the earth starts shaking, stay there until the shaking stops, and then remove everybody from that home or place where you're at. Okay? Please do that. And Trish, thank you very much for that idea. Very well thought out. Awesome. Trish and her husband Rich are good people. They've been partners of ours here on this channel for a very long time. I showed one of Trish and Rich's cards. They sent an Easter card, and I showed it to you here the other day. On, I believe it was Friday we showed it to you. And I since put it back downstairs so both my wife and I can get pleasure from looking at it. It was a beautiful Easter card. Thanks so much, Trish and Rich. Thank your husband for it. Give him a big hug for me and my wife, Carol. We appreciate that. Any other questions? That's good. Any other questions, guys? That was a very good question, Trish. Awesome. It's awesome. What happened today in San Diego can happen anywhere. And probably will. As I said before, I believe San Diego is in for a good shaking, not just this 5.1 or 6.0 earthquake. And this very may well have been stronger than a 6.0. Okay? We are in for a big shaker. We are in for a big shaker. The San Andreas Fault is primed and ready. It's primed and ready. I believe we're probably going to get a 7.5 earthquake. I believe Southern California is ready for a 6.5 earthquake on the San Andreas Fault. It's primed and ready. You folks that live in Southern California need to be aware of this, and you need to make plans for what's going to happen. It's going to happen. In Los Angeles and San Diego area, and even in the Imperial Valley, you guys are going to have that earthquake activate the other earthquake faults throughout the entire area. That's going to mean there's going to be shaking all over the place. Shaking all over the place, there's going to be buildings, homes damaged, roadways completely impassable. Yesterday in East County, San Diego, we had landslides, rocks and dirt on the highways. That's just part of it. That's just part of what we saw. It's going to happen again and again and again. Over and over, just like this. You need to always be prepared, always preparing. Always preparing. Don also put up a chat here that says who, what, when, well, where, why, and how. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. You need to ask yourself those questions. When you write your emergency plan, ask those questions and then find answers to those questions and put those answers in your preparedness plan. That way you're going to be ready. My preparedness plan is well over 100 pages for me and my family. They can do that. Your preparedness plans can be as long as short as you want, but make sure that your plan covers all emergencies and contingencies that could possibly happen. How are you going to find out about that? Talk to your emergency management agency in your town or city, who could be a police chief, could be a fire chief, or it could be an emergency manager like myself. We try to give you this information a lot. That way you have the information in a bind. You already have it. For those of you that haven't seen this program before, and even for those that you have, anytime you see preparedness in the topic of our program, go to that program and watch it. Go to that program and watch it, because that program contains a lot of the information that you're going to need to prepare for any kind of emergency that you might have. Okay? Please do that. Don put also a chat here that says, why be scared? Be prepared. That's exactly the long and the short of it. Don't be scared, be prepared. It's all right to be concerned. It's all right to be worried. Scared, maybe even paranoid a little bit. But watch what you're doing. Watch what you're doing. Get on the road and do it. Write your preparedness plan. Get your preparedness kit ready. Buy your food. Have at least 3 days worth of food in your home. On top of that, if you use something, replace it. If you use something, replace it. Anytime you use any item of food in your home, once you use it, replace it immediately. That way you're always going to have fresh food in your house. My wife and I have probably over 6 months worth of food right now. 6 months worth of food here in our home. Make sure you do that too. We have water storage as well. Make sure you have water here as well. You can't live much further than 3 days without water, especially in the heat like we have today. Today it was almost 80 degrees here in Morganton, North Carolina. Southern California gets that way always. Southern California always gets that way. Today it was cooler in San Diego, probably 65 degrees when that earthquake hit. But Southern California can be just that hot. Over in Julian or El Cajon, where those two reporters were, Julian gets warm, El Cajon gets hot. I've seen temperatures in El Cajon in April be 80 degrees easily. Be prepared, guys. Be prepared. Proper, proactive, prior practice preparation is paramount. Don says proper, proactive, prior, practiced, preparedness, preparation is paramount. Now, if you guys think that the government is going to bail you out, you're wrong. Do not rely on the government. If the government ever comes a knocking saying we are here to help, close the door. If the government comes a knocking and says we're here to help, close the door. The government won't help you. The government will never help you. We will. I may not come a knocking, but we're here on this program to help you. We are here on this program to help you. Now, folks, before we end this program, please practice the things we talked about today. It's of the utmost importance to save your life. It's of the utmost importance to save your life. Also, please give us a thumbs up. Go to your YouTube page here and give us a thumbs up if you think what we said is true, number one, and you like what we've talked about tonight. Give us a thumbs up. Also, folks, check your subscriptions. Make sure you still subscribe to this channel. YouTube all the time unsubscribes people. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and resubscribe. When you resubscribe, there's also a little bell icon. Click on that bell icon. There will be a drop-down menu of 3 items will come up. Click on the word ALL, all. That should get you notified when we come on here. But be advised, YouTube does not always notify people when we come on the air. Even our mods here, most of the time do not even get notified because YouTube just doesn't do it. They say they will, but they don't. So please pay attention to what we're saying. We come on the air between 6 and 7 p.m. most of the time. Occasionally on a wild hair, I will still come on the air after 7 p.m. If there is an emergency, just like there was earlier today in San Diego, we will come on the air to talk to you about it as soon as the information becomes available. And I gathered the information to come on the air to tell you about it. I will always come on the air to tell you about it when there's an emergency. Okay? Day, night, or the middle of the morning. I will always come on the air to tell you about it. Third, please, folks, please practice preparedness. Please practice preparedness. Okay? Also, if you want to help support this channel, earlier today, one of our family members gave us a super chat. Give us super chats or thanks chat or thanks chats here on our chat. You can do that. Also, just below this program here, in the top of our program description, you're going to find a place there. There's a link to join this program as a member of the EMA family here on YouTube. Second, our EMA address, email address is there. rltnspdema@gmail.com. rltnspdema@gmail.com. Right below that, there are 2 PayPal addresses and 1 Venmo address where you can help support our program. Please do that. Please do that to keep this program on the air. It's vital to keep this program on the air. We spend several $100s each month for bandwidth for the internet to be able to broadcast this program. We would appreciate any and all help you can give us. And I thank you for that. I thank you for that. Now, as Easter is upon us, I promised you all, and I started yesterday on Palm Sunday talking about Easter and our celebration of the resurrection of Jesus Christ. the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. In Jesus' time, many people came to him to be healed. In chapter 5 of John, Jesus healed an invalid on the Sabbath. The Sadducees and Pharisees ripped on Jesus for doing something like that on the Sabbath. Why not? Doing the Heavenly Father's work, healing somebody that needed to be healed. Why men must honor the Son of God. In chapter 5 it talks about Jesus promising to take the gospel to the dead. Christ is resurrected, judged and assigned his glory by the Son. Man is resurrected, judged and assigned his glory by the Son of God, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ obeys the law of witnesses, divine law of witnesses. In chapter 5, verse 1, after this there is a feast of the Jews, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now there is at Jerusalem by the sheep market a pool, which is called in the Hebrew tongue Bethesda, having 5 porches. In these lay a great multitude of impotent folk, a blind, halt, withered, waiting for the moving of the water. For an angel went down at a certain season in the pool, and troubled the water. Whosoever then first after the troubling of the water stepped in was made whole of whatsoever disease he had. And a certain man was there, which had an infirmity 38 years. 38 years. When Jesus saw him lie, and knew that he had been there now a long time in that case, he saith unto him, Wilt thou be made whole? The impotent man answered him, Sir, I have no man, when the water is troubled, to put me into the pool. But I am coming another step down before me. Jesus said unto him, Rise, take up thy bed and walk. And immediately the man was made whole, and took up his bed, and walked. And on the same day was the Sabbath. The Jews therefore said unto him that was cured, It is a Sabbath day. It is not lawful for thee to carry thy bed. He answered them, He that made me whole, the same said to me, Take up thy bed and walk. Then asked they him, What man is that was said unto thee, Take up thy bed and walk? He said he was healed, wist not who it was, for Jesus had conveyed himself away, a multitude being in that place. Afterward, Jesus findeth him in the temple, and said unto him, Behold, thou art made whole, sin no more, lest a worse thing come unto thee. The man departed, and told the Jews that it was Jesus which had made him whole. And therefore did the Jews persecute Jesus, and sought to slay him, because he had done these things on the Sabbath. But Jesus answered him, My Father worketh hitherto, and I work. Therefore the Jews sought the more to kill him, because he not only had broken the Sabbath, but also so God was his Father. God was his Father, making himself equal with God. Then answered Jesus and said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, the Son can do nothing of himself, but what he seeth the Father do. For whatsoever things he doeth, these also doeth the Son likewise. For the Father loveth the Son, and sheweth him all things that he himself doeth. And he will shew him greater works than these, that ye may marvel. For as a Father raiseth up the dead, and quickeneth them, even so the Son quickeneth whom he will. For the Father judges no man, but hath committed all judgment unto the Son, that all men should honor the Son, even as they honor the Father. He that honoureth not the Son honoureth not the Father which has sent him. Verily I say unto you, he that heareth this my word, and believeth on him that sent me, hath everlasting life, and shall not come into condemnation, but is passed from death unto life. Verily, verily, I say unto you, that the hour is coming, and now is, when the dead shall hear the voice of the Son of God, and they that hear shall live. For as the Father hath life in himself, so hath he given to the Son to have life in himself, and hath given him authority to execute judgment also, because he is the Son of Man. Marvel not at this, for the hour is coming, in which all that are in the grave shall hear his voice, and shall come forth, that they that have done good, unto the resurrection of life, and they that have done evil unto the resurrection of damnation. And I can of my own self do nothing. As I hear, I judge, and my judgment is just, because I seek not my own will, but the will of the Father that sent me. If I bear witness of myself, my witness is not true. There is another that heareth witness of me, and I know that the witness which he witnesses of me is true. He sent unto John, that he bear witness unto the truth. But I receive not testimony from man, but these things I say, that ye might be saved. He was a burning and a shining light, and ye were willing for a season to rejoice in his light. But I have greater witness than that of John, for the works of which the Father hath given me to finish, those same works that I do bear witness of me, that the Father hath sent me. And the Father himself which hath sent me hath borne witness of me. Ye have neither heard his voice at any time, not seen his shape. And ye have not his word abideth in you, for whom he has sent, him ye believe not. Search the Scriptures, for in them ye have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And ye will not come to me, that ye might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have the love of God in you. I come in my Father's name, and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him will ye receive. How can ye believe which receive honor one of another, and seek not the honor that cometh from God only? Do not think that I will accuse you to the Father. There is one that accuses you, even Moses, in whom ye trust. For had ye believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if ye believe not his writings, how should ye believe my words? If you don't believe the words of a prophet, how would you believe Jesus Christ himself? Folks, this is true. This is right from the Scriptures. Jesus Christ can heal you. The power of the priest of God can heal you. Christ came from God, the Son of Man, for us. Tomorrow we're going to talk about the Feast of the Passover. We're in the Passover time now. Brothers and sisters, please pray to God for your salvation. Please pray to be healed. I want to do this tonight. I ask the Lord to bless you, each and every one of you. Those that stand in need of help, please ask God for a blessing. I bless you that you can be healed to the utmost part of your belief. Have faith in God. Have faith in God. Have faith in His Son, Jesus Christ, our Savior, our Redeemer, our King, the light of truth. I know that He can heal you. I have great faith in Jesus Christ. I have great faith in God our Father. Please, folks, please do the things we talked about tonight. Please prepare for disasters and emergencies. Those things are going to happen. There was no way to even forecast this earthquake that happened in San Diego County today. No way to forecast it. It happens. It happens. May God bless you. May God bless your friends and family members. God bless the people of San Diego as well. We love you very much. We truly love you very much. Carol and I both. I bear you my witness that God lives. He hears and answers prayers. He can bless you. He can bless you, brothers and sisters. Have a good night and a better tomorrow. We will see you on the other side. God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side. Good night, everybody. Much love. See you soon.